Howdy y'all, my name's Corey and welcome to Travel the Board. I've been counting down my top 100 games of all time. Today we're doing 40 to 31. Let's do it! Alright, so my number 40, I swear I'm going to learn these numbers one day. Number 40. Guys, I told you, I've been promising you, if you've watched this whole series, I've promised you since the first episode, there are going to be risers, there are going to be new games. This is the 10 that it happens. With my number 40, it's a brand new game to the list. It's a Big Daddy game. It's a story game. It's a worker placement game. It's creepy themed. It's for Halloween. It's for those dark nights, thunder blaring. Boom. My father's work. I love my father's work. This game, it's just so interesting. It's app-driven. You've got the story happening. The way the workers are placed, where you have multiple different kinds of workers, and each worker can only go to certain areas based off of their role, which is super fun. Like, that was one of my favorite parts of the game, was like, I had all these different workers, but this worker could only go here or here, and this worker could only go here, here, or here, but then this worker could also go here, there, or here. The fact that each of them could do their own specific thing was super interesting. I love the passing of the phone to, like, get pieces of the story, and, like, you know things the others don't, and you're, like, over here, like, woohoo, I know what's coming, and everyone else doesn't. Keeping up with the story, the way that each round or whatever is a new generation, it's your kid, it's your grandkids, etc., etc., etc. The fact that you are trying to continue your father's work, I think it's super interesting. This game has multiple scenarios in the box. It's one of those things where it's such a big game that you're not going to play it all the time, so you can play scenario 1. A couple months later, play Scenario 2. A couple months later, play Scenario 3. And then a couple months later, go back and play Scenario 1, because 1, the game will be different enough, and you will kind of had time to forget the story a bit, that even if you remember bits and pieces, you can still play it. It's still a fantastic game. Like, this is a grandiose, non-big game, if that makes sense. Also, I did pay for the upgraded components. Not only did I pay for the upgraded components, my wife bought me even better upgraded components later, because like it comes with the little jars in the upgraded components, but they're empty. My wife went on Etsy and bought me jars that have cool things in them, like eyeballs and spiders and like pixie dust and just all kinds of super cool things. It's actually one of my favorite gifts I think I've ever gotten, because it was so cool to upgrade this game a second time. It's like, hey, here's some upgrades. Here's some better upgrades. I thought that was super cool, but My Father's Work's a great game that I think would work well with most groups. You just gotta be ready to sit down and play it. We mistakenly started our first time playing this at like 1 o'clock in the morning. We didn't end until like 5 a.m. and we were exhausted, but it was still so fun. Even my first play of this didn't go as well as it could have, and this is my number 40 all time. I loved it so much. I cannot wait to get this back to the table. I cannot wait to play more scenarios. I love My Father's Work. I think I can push this. Actually worked well. My number 39 has gone up 6 places from last year, and it's a little bit of an older game, but it just gets so much more pleasant each time I play it. It's one of my wife's favorite games. We love to play this one together. So much that I actually bought the big box super version with the minis and the expansions, and I just love it. Tokaido. Tokaido is so peaceful. There's not a whole lot going on in this box. You are just going along a path, and you are making paintings, you're donating money, you're eating food, you're getting souvenirs. Like, there's really not that much going on. It has that whole, what's it called? Tom Vaseline calls it like the ratchet system or whatever. You can only go so far, but you can't go backwards. And like the further you go, the other person can go a certain amount. I think that the 2-player variant of this also works really well, which is why me and my wife like it so much. I think the 2-player version is balanced well, and I also think playing it with more people is balanced well. I love the collecting of the paintings, the expansions are good, and ever since I got this upgraded version, oh my goodness, the components are amazing. And also, you can get the like soundtrack with the like peaceful music, which just makes it that much better. This is a game that I think I'll never not enjoy. Is it ever going to crack my top 10? No, it's not. Is it ever going to crack my top 20? Probably not. Right now, it's sitting at, 39? That could be the highest it ever goes. Who knows? I just know that I don't think I'll ever not enjoy it. It's just so peaceful. It's so calm. And it's something you can play with absolutely anybody. My number 39, Tokaido. My number 38 has also gone up 6 places from last year. I told you guys we got all these risers going on. The rosin. But this game is probably the biggest game any of us will ever play, except for you, like, mega war gamers out there. This game takes all day. It is an all-day event. You need to plan a lunch break for this game. You need to plan bathroom breaks for this game. You need to have a snack table and water set up for just this game. Oh, here we go. Twilight Imperium 4th Edition. This game, at this point, lives in infamy amongst gamers. The moment you hear about this 6 to 8 to 10 hour game, depending on your group, you either get so excited that you go out and buy it immediately and must play it, or you decide that you will never, in the history of your life, play this game, because it just depends on what kind of gamer you are. I thoroughly enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoy the space battles, the area control, the initiating of combat, the travel across the board, the moving of your warships and armies, or whatever you want to call it, the capturing of planets. I love the space opera version of it. And then I also love the politics of it. The politics is my favorite part of this game. Every time we play this game, I don't know if it's in the rules. I actually don't know if it's in the rules, but the way we play it, you can call secret meetings. You can call for meetings with each other. I can't remember the last time we played. I think we had a rule that you had to be within one adjacent system of someone else, because then you could send out a convoy or whatever thematically to have them come and talk to you. So if you were adjacent to someone, you could say, hey, I'm going to send a convoy out to speak to you, and you could go out in the hallway and have a secret conversation and basically do politics and basically say, we're going to screw over this person. I want to do this with you. You don't attack me. I want to attack you here, but then we'll give each other 3 turns, and then we'll do this later. Or I'm going to do this with you and this with that. And then another convoy comes to you, and you're like, oh, Scott, I'm going to go talk to you now. And then everything you just talked about with this other person, you just throw out the window, and you just do something entirely different. It's super fun. The politics of it's what I love, but the space opera, the battling on the board is incredible. This is a 6 to 10 hour game, depending on your group, and I know that's a large variant, but I have played this game in 6 hours. I have played this game in 10 hours. Believe me, it is possible. It also depends on the size of your group, etc. It's just so wonderful. Like, I understand this game's not for everybody, and not everyone's going to love this game. No, some people don't want to sit at a table for 8 hours and play the same game. I absolutely adore it, because I think metas form, I think alliances form, I think the idea of how people play form, I think it is super interesting, and I also think that 5 hours in, no one's out of the game. Like, sometimes at deeper in games, people are out of it. They can't win. I don't think you ever really get out of this game, which I think is super cool. Twilight Imperium, 4th edition. You're either going to love it or not. Make your decision yourself. I personally love it. I'm not pushing this game. My number 37 is a game that is new to the list. Oh, I love getting to say that. Number 37, this game is a spin-off / made by the same people as like role players and Stone Spire Architects and things like that. This is Cartographers. Cartographer is a super interesting, super strategic small game. I love when I can bring out a small game that plays quickly, that I can play with people who aren't as into strategy games as me, but there's so much strategy that you can glean from this game that it just makes me excited to play. This game where you're drawing the little pictures on your little map based off of the goals and cards that come out on the table and the different things that happen with these goals and cards, I think is super interesting. And you're basically playing a weird game of Tetris and drawing in the different things on your map to fit them all in this little square of tiles, basically, and trying to perfectly form them to score in certain ways. I know that's like a long, word pasta of just weirdness that I just said, but everything about it makes me excited to play. I also love that you have to draw the little symbols, like the trees and the little monster heads in there, and you have to draw them 30 times each in each square, and then at the end, when people hold up their maps and you see the different drawing levels, and this person drew little faces in their monster, this person drew a swirl because that's all they could do. I think it's super cute and funny, and the game is crunchy enough for the gamers, but cool and simple enough for the non-gamers. And I love games that have enough meat on the bone for someone like me, but I can play it with anyone and it be chill. That's Cartographers for me. A fantastic game. Meow. Number 36 has dropped 4 spots from last year, but that's okay. It's about the same ish area when you consider new games have come up above it. Love this game. I love tower defense games. You heard me talking about tower defense games when I talked about After the Empire in one of my lists previously. This is the tower defense game for me. I love the mechanics, I love the cute theme, and I love the idea that you are genuinely fighting off waves that are coming towards your tower. It is Castle Panic. And oh my goodness, Fireside Games. Fireside Games, I hope you're watching. Please, Fireside Games, please be watching. I want the Super Mega Deluxe version of this so badly it hurts. I want it so bad. I saw you at Gen Con. I walked by your booth so many times. I saw the Kickstarter or whatever Game Found. I can't remember which one it was on. I saw it. I wanted it so bad. Please, do something for me. I'm not saying give it to me. Can I have a discount? Can I have something? I want the Mega version of this game so badly. I may just buy it. I don't know. You guys are hearing me ramble. Castle Panic is so fun. I love you've got your little tower in the middle, and you got different monsters coming in different waves all around you, and you're trying to strategically use your cards to fight them off, and you have to plan, well, we need to fight this one over here, but then this one's going to come, but then what about these over here? And you're also playing this one cooperatively. This one, everyone is like working together to do this, and you're having to plan ahead on what you're going to fight and win, and the fact that you've got the brick and mortar cards so that you can rebuild your castle, that is one of the most interesting parts to me, that they thought about having an ability to rebuild your castle with the brick and mortar cards. I thought that was so interesting the first time I played it, because like when you play tower defense games most time when you were a kid, like once they tore down that wall, it was gone. And now, like, you can rebuild it. I think it's a super cute theme. I think it's a fantastic game. And oh my goodness, do I want the Super Mega version. I want it so badly. Castle Panic. Wonderful game. Wow. My number 35 has gone up 7 spots from last year. This is another sort of oldie but a goodie. This is basically Walking Dead, the board game. I think you know what I'm talking about. Dead of Winter. Right when I got into board gaming, Walking Dead was like at its peak. Everyone was watching it. It was the biggest show in the world, and I loved it. And I found out about Dead of Winter, and I bought it immediately, and it did not disappoint. I have played this game for years and years at this point. The idea of keeping your people alive, sending them out on missions, collecting the right supplies, and working together in a semi-cooperative game to get to stay alive and achieve certain goals. But then you've got that, like, the discard pile that you are secretly laying things down as supplies. But there is a defector in this game. There is a traitor. There is someone trying to cause mayhem in this game. And they're over here discarding that gas tank you needed. They're discarding those metal scraps you needed. They're making it harder on you. And you're trying to figure out who they are so you can exile them from your camp and try to win the game. And then the polarizing thing about this game is, yes, some people like the semi-cooperative, some people don't. I think it's fine if it's done well in games. There are some games that probably doesn't work as well. I think it works fine in this game. The only thing about this game, I'll say even I don't love, is the fact that for a lot of them to win, you have to end the game with like certain cards in your hand. Like you have to have metal scraps and a gas can in your hand at the end of the game to win. So it makes you look like the traitor because you have to hold on to these cards when your team needed a gas can 2 turns ago, but to win, you have to hold on to it. So there's like partial winning. I don't like the idea of partial winning in games. So to be honest, we sort of kind of ignore the partial win rule a little bit. I don't know. We just kind of play the game, to be honest. Like, that's kind of how my group is. We just play, and at the end, we're like, oh, who won? Scott? Cool, sounds good. Like, it's more just like we just play the games because we enjoy them. That's how we are with this game. But the theme is great. The theme shines. The theme in this game oozes out of the box. Like, just look at it. It's oozing right now. Just blah, 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 blah. It's wonderful. If you love The Walking Dead, you will feel Walking Dead in this game. And that's why I loved it when it came out, and that's still why I love it today. My number 34 is up a whole 1 spot from last year. So it's in the same spot, basically. But my number 34 is, I have the big version. I don't have the small. Role player. For those of you that play D&D, right? We all know Lords of Waterdeep was the connector game 15 years ago, right? Like, if you play D&D, you play Lords of Waterdeep, all of a sudden you now want to play board games. I think role player is that game now. Because the entire game is building a D&D character. Like, genius. Like, it's a board game where you make a RPG character. Boom. Like, you are getting dice and placing them strategically to get statistics on your character to win the game. And then you can take your character from this game and go play D&D with them. Like, how perfect of a bridge game is there than a game that you can literally make a character and then go play your RPG campaign with that character? Role Player is awesome. The expansions are awesome. The monsters expansion is, oh my god, you get to actually take your character you made and go fight monsters with it. That's just another progression that was so obviously needed and amazing. I had to buy the big version of this. I've got the expansions, I've got upgraded components, I've got everything. I have dice towers. I have Role Player dice towers. Like, this game is fantastic. I love it. I'll never not play it. And it looks like a book. The box is a book. So cool. Here we go. Actually worked. I thought it would fall. My number 33. You all in the comments are going to roast me and tell me that I am insane. How have I never played this game until this year? It is now my new favorite small game. It is my favorite game to throw in my pocket and take to a party. It's my favorite game to throw in my pocket and take to the bar to meet up with friends. Or just to bring out at the start of the night. We're still waiting on 2 people to show up. Let's play a quick game. We played this one. It is the iconic, the go-to game for so many people that they have played thousands of times. Love Letter. And yes, I just have the little pouch version because that's all you need. You throw it in your pocket and you're out the door. I know, I'm sorry, I'm a real gamer. I promise you, I promise I'm a real gamer. I've never played Love Letter until that. Well, actually, I take that back. I played Love Letter for the first time, my very first year I was ever into gaming. I played it once, just one singular time, and I loved it. But then I never bought it. I never picked it back up. So it kind of fell out of my brain. Because if you play something one time, a small game like this, it's going to fall out of your brain. Well, about a year ago, I picked up my own version finally. And we have played the absolute crap out of this game. This is probably our most played game of the last year because you can play it so many times in a row. You just bust it out. You're done. Everyone likes it. It may not be your favorite game of all time, but there's no one who's going to dislike Love Letter. It's so simple. It's so fun. And I am sorry that I only played it once before and I forgot about it. I'm a real gamer. I promise. Don't take away my gamer card. It's tucked firmly in my wallet. Let me keep it. I don't even have to like push this one. I can toss this one. Before we move on, guys, I want to thank you for watching. If you made it this far in the video, you're either liking the video or you're supporting me. Either way, hit the like button down below. I promise it helps me out so much. It helps me progress this channel. It helps me grow. It helps me be able to do cooler things for you guys in the future. I have so many amazing ideas, but I need some help to get there. Hitting that like button. Comment down below. It also helps. What has been your favorite game of the 10 in this list? Which game did you like the best? I promise these things help me out so much. Plus, I just love talking to you guys in the comments. It's like my favorite thing about YouTube is talking to you guys in the comments. So, be sure you do that and subscribe. There's plenty more videos to come. Let's finish this list. So my number 32 is brand new to the list, and my number 31 has dropped 6 places. So these are 31, 32, and I need to talk about them at the same time. And I can't believe I do. I did not do this on purpose. I need everyone in here to listen to me. I promise I did not do this on purpose. It was not intentional. When I made my list, this is just how it fell. I promise. You're not going to believe me. I promise it was not intentional. My number 32, brand new to the list, is Splendor Duel. My number 31, that I enjoy one spot higher, is Splendor. Do you guys think I like Splendor? Splendor Duel and Splendor are both fantastic. I love collecting the gems. I love getting those gems to pay for the cards. I love that when you get certain cards, they now act as a forever gem and you can use them to help pay for future gems. I love that you are just collecting these cards and you're trying to collect the different tokens in different ways to make it work out for you. I love that you can take the gold gem, which is a wild, and you can reserve a card and save it for later. I think all the mechanics in these games just work. Here's the reason I like Splendor better than Splendor Duel, because I think that they play differently. 100% they play differently, but they also don't. They play so similarly that they don't. I hope that makes any sense. The reason I like Splendor more is 2 reasons. 1, in Splendor Duel, you have different ways of winning the game. One of those ways is to collect, I can't remember if it's 10 different cards. I think it's 10. Me and my friend Scott played this game probably 6 times in 2 days. We stopped using that rule because it's so easy to win that way. Like, that is by far the easiest way to win. We actually increased it from 10 to 15, and we still won that way every time. We increased it from 15 to 20, and we still won that way sometimes. So we decided that way you can't win anymore, and we just said that is not a rule for us anymore. We homebrew it, and we don't play with that one. So the fact that I have to homebrew a rule out is the reason I like this one more than this one, even though I still love it. The other reason I like Splendor more than Splendor Duel is it's for more than 2 people. I can play it with 3 or 4 people. That's why. It just works. If I want to play with 2 people, I have this one. If I want to play with more than 2 people, I have this one. But they're back to back. 31 and 32 are basically the exact same thing. That's the thing about lists like this when I'm making my top 100. The difference between 31 and 32 is not a big deal. I love both these games. Splendor's a great franchise. There you go. Fight over which one you like better in the comments. I'm not pushing these because that one is fragile. I'll push this one. And that's the list. Guys, I'm so happy to be done all the way through 31 because starting next video, if you've hung out with us this long, you've seen in some of the videos already, my top 30. My friends Scott and Lucas are going to be joining me and doing their top 30 as well. I've already seen the first cut of the 30 to 21. I'll need to warn you guys ahead of time. These videos are going to be much longer. Like, much longer. Because there's 3 of us. Our camaraderie is great. Our working together is great. It is so funny. When you see the video come out and you see how long it is, you're going to like kind of do a double take. And I apologize for that. We promise in the future we will get better at that. That was our fault. We'll get better at that. But I promise it's worth it. I laughed through the whole thing. It is so funny. Seeing what games we talk about is so interesting. Seeing my reaction to them and their reactions to me, it's just a great thing to watch. I hope you enjoy it. I just wanted to warn you ahead of time about the length, but I'm so excited to get into this top 30, so be sure you subscribe so that you can come hang out with us for this top 30. It's going to be so good, and we have a special coming for our top 10. I will see you guys there. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye!